Unit 7, the coordinate plane. Lesson 1, points in the coordinate plane. We're going to start out with 4 vocabulary words. First one is a coordinate plane. We need to know what that is if we're going to be finding points on it. The coordinate plane is a surface formed by the intersection of 2 number lines. Here's one number line. There's the second one. The one that goes horizontal is the X number line, and one that goes vertical is the Y number line, or X-axis and Y-axis. The plane is divided into 4 regions, which are called quadrants. Quad, right here, is a prefix for 4, so that's where we get our 4 regions. They are quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. And if you notice, they go counterclockwise. We have an ordered pair. This is a pair of numbers that describes the location of a point in the coordinate plane. The ordered pair is always written X, comma, Y, and they're both in parentheses. X would be the first coordinate. X goes left or right. And then our Y coordinate, that was our X coordinate, and our Y coordinate will always go top to bottom, okay, depending on positive or negative. So here's an example of the X coordinate and the Y coordinate. Then we have the origin. This is the point where 2 number lines intersect. The ordered pair 0, 0 describes the origin. Origin means beginning. So the beginning of our ordered pairs will always begin at the origin, and we will either go right or left or up or down according to our positive or negatives. If you wish to take your smart device and scan the QR code here, you could watch a Virtual Nerd video on how to graph on the coordinate plane. Our first example works with naming coordinates. If we are to start plotting points on a coordinate plane, we need to know the name of the quadrants and how to name those coordinates. Just a reminder that there are 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, they go counterclockwise. We have the origin, which is right in the center where the X and Y axis, those 2 lines that form the coordinate grid or coordinate plane. And X-axis is the one that goes horizontal and the Y-axis is the one that goes vertical. We have the X-coordinate that tells how far to move to the right or left along the X-axis, and then we have the Y-coordinate, which tells you how far to move up or down along the Y-axis. Find the coordinates of point C. So here we have a coordinate plane, or what's called a coordinate grid. Both of those names can be used. Point C is 1 unit to the right of the y-axis, so the x-coordinate is 1. Because we start here at the origin and we always go x before y. Think about it alphabetically. We are going to go over 1, and then we are going to go 1, 2, 3 up along the y-axis. Okay, so the first coordinate that we said was the 1, which is the x, and then the second coordinate where we ended up here was the y-coordinate. And those correspond with our, from starting at the origin, going over 1, here's our 1, and going up 3. Now we're going to practice finding coordinates in this coordinate plane. Here they want us to find point B. So here is B. B is in, if you remember, this is quadrant 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Now one of the things that may help you is to know that quadrant 1 is always considered a positive. The x will be positive, the y will be positive, because it goes to the right and it goes up. And on our number lines, anything to the right and up of 0 is positive. Quadrant 2 is actually a negative positive. Negative, because again, we start at 0 and we go x to the left. Anything left of 0 is negative, and then we'll go up. And remember, anything above 0 is positive. Quadrant 3 is negative, negative. And that's because we start at 0 and we're going to go to the left of 0, which is negative, and then we'll go below 0, which is negative. Therefore, we have a negative, negative coordinates. Quadrant 4 is positive, negative. This is because when we start at 0 to get in here in quadrant 4, we have to go to the right of 0, which is positive, and then we have to go down from 0, which is negative. So this may help when we're finding the coordinates for point B. We're going to start here at our origin, and we're going to go over 1, 2, 3. Now we went to the left 3, so that's a negative 3. And then we went up 1, 2. And so if we go up, that's a positive. So the coordinates for point B are negative 3, positive 2, or what we would say is negative 3, 2. Point D, again, we're starting at the origin. The origin's beginning. We're always going to start there. And to find D, let's see, it looks like it's out here in quadrant 3, so we know we're going to have negative, negative, which means we're going to go to the left and down. So we go to the left, negative 2, and we're going to go down, count 1, 2, 3 units, negative 3 units. Now point E, I want you guys to pause the video, take a minute, and find the coordinates of point E. Now that you've found how to read the coordinates, now we're going to graph them ourselves, where we are giving an ordered pair and we are asked to put this on the coordinate plane. So here in this example, they gave us point P. So when we put this point on the coordinate plane, they want us to label it P, and they're telling us we need to go over 3, up 2. And I know I'm going to go over and up because both of these are positive. Remember, quadrant 1's positive, positive. Quadrant 2 is negative, positive. Quadrant 3 is negative, negative. And quadrant 4 is positive, negative. And I still, to this day, sometimes do this on the coordinate plane to help me remember. So if that helps you, I would highly suggest it. We're going to start at the origin because we always start here. So step 1, start. We're going to go and follow the X. Since it's a positive 3, we're going to go over 3 units. And then a positive 2 means up 2 units. And then we're going to plot point P. Again, just here a reminder. So if you want to put a star by it, here's your arrow, circle it, just to remember how you move for positives and how you positive and negative x's, and how you move for positive and negative y's. Now we're going to practice graphing these points on the coordinate plane. Again, I just always do this. Going to write this here so I know. Quadrant 1's positive, positive. Quadrant 2's negative, positive. Quadrant 3 is negative, negative, and quadrant 4 is positive, negative. I'm asked to plot point A. Both of these are positive, positive, so I know I'm going to be here in quadrant 1. I'm going to start at my origin. X says go over 1, and Y says go up 3. So I went over 1, up 3, and I'm going to label it A. B, I know this is a negative, positive. Well, a negative positive is over here in quadrant 2. So when I start at the origin and I go to the left 3, negative 3, and up 2, that should put me in quadrant 2, which it did. I want you to pause the video, take about 30 seconds to a minute, and I want you to plot point C on the coordinate plane. Now we're going to talk about using map coordinates. The coordinate plane, you may have done this a little bit in social studies when you are working with longitude and latitude, or when you're reading a map in an atlas. This kind of can help you, and here we're just using the very basics of it to help read coordinates and find points on a coordinate plane. In this first example of using map coordinates, it says a student drew a map of certain locations in relation to home. They ask us to identify the coordinates of the library. So if we start here at home, which is the origin, and we go to the library, we've gone over 1, 2 to the left, so that'd be -2, and up 1 positive. So that's how they get the coordinate here. Now they ask us if we're at the library and we leave and we ride our scooter 2 blocks north. Well, here they gave us the compass rose to know north is going to be up, okay, positive. We're going to go 2 blocks north, so we go 1, 2, and then we're going to go 4 blocks east. 1, 2, 3, 4, and where do we arrive? We arrive at the grocery store. So using this map, they want you to answer these 2 questions, and we'll go ahead and just do both of these together. It says use the map at the right, and suppose you leave the library and walk 2 blocks south. So here's the library. South then is going to be down. We walk 2 blocks. 1, 2, okay, and then we're going to walk 5 blocks east. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At which building do you arrive? And when we get done, you will notice we were at City Hall. Now they're asking, what are the coordinates of the building? So here we're at City Hall, and they want to know, where does this point lie? Well, if I start at the origin and go X, in here that's in quadrant 4, so it's a positive, negative, means we're going to go over 1, 2, 3. We go over a positive 3, and then we have to go down 1 and -1, and we're at City Hall. So the coordinates of City Hall is at 3, -1. This is the end of lesson 1, points in the coordinate plane.